I don't know, dude. I'm like so amped for this game. I can't do any work tomorrow. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, so tomorrow College Game Day truck will be in the quad, so I will be hopefully getting a couple players to come join, make some posters for game day. Even though this isn't a must-win game, we're pulling out all the stops.
Yeah. We'll get to the must win quote, but no, I did want to make an important announcement. So these orders have come down from Islamic chairman of New York City, Comrade Mamdani. Obviously you've been listening to Simplify for quite some time, but in accordance with his new decree, we're now going to be changing our name officially to Shariafy, because we will be bringing Islamic law to the people along with the best pit sports takes on the internet. So, um, with that being said,
First
welcome to
down,
Sharia
goes to the
5.
sidelines, has a man wide
Loves those moments. It reminds me of last year in the Garden against St. John. And guys just stepped up. Blake hits a what the hell three. We're like, what are you doing? And he's done that all year.
Klicka out to Bizzario. It's over. The Pitt Panthers have upset Wisconsin. Anybody if he hits his field goal. Up and got it. Sauls does it again.
Nah, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Welcome back to Simplify. I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky. I'm joined by my co-host, Ian Labatch, and I promised a special guest for this week, and it is returning champion, all-time co-host, coming out of retirement. It is Ken Vanderwood. Ken, how are we doing tonight?
Doing great, Zach. Pumped to be back. Really hyped for this weekend and this game. So excited to get into it and talk about it.
Yeah, man. This feels like the biggest game we've had. I don't know, since like the 2022 brawl, or like 21 Clemson or 21 Virginia. Like, this has so much energy around it, even before they announced game day, and we'll get to that. Don't worry about it. But I'm so pumped to talk about this game. Ian, how are we doing tonight?
This has been one of the least productive weeks of my entire life. I
Mm-hmm.
have made it through every field pass video that is on YouTube. Rewatched the complete game of the 22 brawl, and then I watched a condensed game during my audit class of the 2016 Clemson game. So to say we're not hyped for this game would just be completely wrong.
You went through every field pass. What's your number one?
I'm kind of partial. So in the 2024 brawl, there's a good shot of me. However, it didn't age great because that is my ex-girlfriend in it that I'm hugging in that field pass. So besides that one, probably the 2016 Penn State one is awesome.
I'm a 21 Clemson man myself. So we're off the bye. We're getting back into it, and I mean, I guess I kind of want to open this up by, Pitt's 7-2. We are now ranked number 22 in the college football playoff rankings. So we're in that top 25, and we're positioned at a postseason shot, especially with the ACC shaking out as it has been over the last week, right? And we're not going to really go over the games from last weekend. Hand up, didn't really watch much because of the YouTube TV thing, and I was busy. Engagement party, very fun. But if you haven't heard, both Virginia and Louisville lost last weekend, right? So that leaves a 5-way tie among the top of the ACC with one-loss teams in conference. That is Georgia Tech, Virginia, Pitt, SMU, and Duke. Now, with this 5-way tie, you know that Pitt controls his own destiny against Georgia Tech. They play in 2 weeks. Virginia and Duke play this weekend as well. So that leaves SMU as the only other team that Pitt cannot really influence. There's no They don't play any other one-loss teams. They do play Louisville in 2 weeks, which is a big game, maybe to get SMU out of the top tier of these teams, right? Because as it stands right now, we've been going over tiebreakers in the group chat. Any tiebreaker that involves 3 one-loss teams is pretty gnarly for Pitt, and it gets clear if there are only 2 one-loss teams. Like that's the ideal situation going on for Pitt right now.
Yeah, I think that the Duke scenario is like nightmare for the ACC, and we don't have to get completely into that. But yeah, I mean, I think Pitt just has to focus on winning out, and the ACC standings will fall the way they do. Control you can control, and that SMU is it SMU Louisville. Is that in 2 weeks?
Yeah, so SMU's off this week. They play Louisville and Cal to end the season there. Home for Louisville at Cal. Cal's kind of live. They took down Louisville on the road in overtime. Duke, the nightmare scenario, they have Virginia this week, so one-loss team will be removed from the equation. They have UNC, easy win, but then they get Wake Forest at home to end the year, and we know they're a pretty chippy team because they just took down Virginia in an absolute slop fest of a game. It's really, when it comes down to these standings, the question is, I mean, I guess your ideal outcome, because the ideal outcome for me is there are 2 or less one-loss teams, Pitt being one of them. I think you probably have to root for Virginia over Duke because Duke is a nightmare scenario team, as we've said, and you probably need Louisville to knock off SMU. You need that to happen, I think. Before we move on, did you guys watch the end of that Penn State game last weekend?
You showed me the replay.
I did.
Yeah, I watched it. I was having a hate watch. It was very fitting. And I mean, I saw somewhere that like Penn State's like a top, like the best 3-6 team of all time. But I mean, I don't want to be on that list.
You never want to be the best 500 at best team of all time. No, that catch was awesome. Omar Cooper, what a catch. Fernando Mendoza walks him down with like no timeouts and a minute and change left after taking a giant sack on first down. Very fun. I was watching it with my buddy who went to Penn State, and when they confirmed it after the replay call, I was just going fucking nuts. That was great. All right, that's all I want to say. I did want to dance on Penn State's grave again, as we want to do here. Let's just get right into it. Number 22 is hosting number 9 Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Number 9 Notre Dame this Saturday, 12 o'clock on ABC. And before we get to the game, College Game Day is coming back to Pittsburgh for the first time in damn near 2 decades, I believe. I think the last time was 2005. As if this game didn't mean enough to Pitt. It's a 7-2 team trying to jump themselves up and announcing everybody, we're here, we're for real. We took out Notre Dame. College Game Day is here. Like that, you can't get more energy, more excitement, more meaning on this game than having game day come. So, I mean, first off, what's your guys' reaction to Pitt getting game day this weekend?
Ian, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was always a game that I had circled for a potential game day. Even before the season started, you look at the slate, and, the closer we got, they went to the SEC schools that played this week. It's a historic rivalry. And the energy on campus it's pretty palpable. I mean, I go into class. Too many people are asking me to save them a spot. But a lot of people are making signs. We're having a huge event tomorrow. I'm worried the signs are going to be too West Virginia focused with Pat McAfee being on game day as opposed to Notre Dame. But I think it's going to be a great time. And I haven't seen the students buy in for a game this big in a while. So I'm excited.
He just cut out for you.
Yeah.
You cut out I haven't seen.
Oh, I haven't seen the excitement around the football program like this in a while, so I'm excited.
Yeah, to me, I there's a lot that kind of goes into this, and I've been kind of thinking about a lot of different aspects of this weekend all week. The game I'm really excited for. We'll talk about Narduzzi's comments, but the I do feel very good about Pitt. Playing well again. In this game, I think we match up well with Notre Dame in terms of our run defense being a strength and us being able to, have the balanced offense that we've been able to have. And, Mason's just been playing really well. So, in terms of the game, I'm really excited. And I think Pitt has a legit chance to win this game. Game day upcoming is obviously awesome. I hope that we don't play poorly after getting all the eyes on us. That is my biggest concern. We've basically there have been times in the past where Pitt football or Pitt basketball gains basically a lot of eyes on them, and then they end up pooping their pants.
Yeah, I was definitely before the Stanford game, I was a little bit concerned about a pants pooping incident because they were starting to get a lot of eyes on Mason, getting all those like freshman awards and stuff. As a Pitt fan, you're always concerned about possible diarrheal incidents in a big game. But Ian, to your point, I don't. I am not concerned about the number of West Virginia signs. I think that Pitt students should be aiming to make Pat McAfee cry on live television. Because if there are not signs of just about missed kicks and shit like that, 13-9, it's a missed opportunity. He's the face of game day at this point, and he is coming to the team that he blew it against. Also, by the way, free game. If you are the person making that kick this weekend, if you make it, great, you get to twerk on McAfee or whatever, right? But if you miss it, free game here, right? You say, Pat, I missed one kick, and you missed two to lose a spot in the national championship. So just putting it out there for whoever is making that kick this weekend, because it won't be me. I'm not getting up that early to sit in line. But I mean, yeah, it's so exciting to have game day. Looking forward to the signs. If you are making a sign, send it to us. We'll post it. If it's good, if it's bad, we won't post it, and we'll let you know. Just kidding. I'm not mean like that. But beyond that, let's talk about the game and the question that everyone is asking, right? Gay Son Heintschel or Thot CJ Carr-ter?
You know my pick.
I got some disappointed head shakes on that one. No, I mean, honestly, if we're talking about the story of the game, the matchup that's going to define it, can't you hit it at it earlier? It is the Pitt run defense against Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is one of the best, if not the best running back in the country. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got shiftiness. He's going to get what he's going to get, right? He's got almost 1,000 yards in the season, averaging 6.4 yards per rush, a long of 94, and 13 touchdowns on the year. As far as he goes, this Notre Dame offense goes. And this is a very, very potent Notre Dame offense. I mean, looking at the success rates, they have a 51% success rate on passing plays. The run absolutely sets up their pass game. With a threat like Love, you're going to have success in play action just when you run or when you pass. All around an offense that we frankly haven't seen from Notre Dame in quite some time, especially on the passing front. And then defensively, they're top 40. They're a top 40 defense in the nation. It's all green on game on paper. So I mean, I guess we can start with the defense, right? The Pitt's defense against the Notre Dame offense, because this week we should be getting some big pieces back. We should have all of the linebackers healthy, I believe, is what the rumors are. That means that Kyle Lewis, Braylon Lovelace, and Rasheem Biles will all be ready to go. And that is, I think that's the key for the defense, straight up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm really excited to see that matchup. I really think that's going to be the X factor in this game is how well we can contain Jeremiah Love. I don't think we're going to be able to completely stop him, but limit him enough so that they can't just set up, the pass, off of the run. We have to be able to, keep this one close and not, be able to keep our offense off the field a little, or get our offense back on the field, I should say, quickly, especially if we're not moving the ball well on offense early. We can't get down early.
I think the biggest matchup is what secondary do we get from Pitt, and and also what personnel group we use. I want us to rely early on Sean Lee, probably line him. And I think like the game is going to be won and lost on the backs of our secondary, because Pitt's going to like give up probably one big one to Jeremiah Love. He always finds one, but they're going to like make CJ Carr beat them, and depending on how the secondary plays is going to determine how this game goes.
I agree with that. I all the stats about Sean Lee, he is leading the nation in yards per target on defense. He's at like 0.14. We're at a point with this secondary where, to me, and I'm not a coach, and I don't see everything, but to me, you should be starting Sean Lee over Rashad Battle. Rashad Battle had a couple of oopsies in that, to say the least, in the Stanford game. Basically put 10 points on the board for Stanford with a couple of bad plays in the first quarter. Something I also want to point out, because I do think that you're correct, that even though the linebackers are important for stopping the run, it really is about how does the secondary play when faced with like this competent Notre Dame passing attack, right? Notre Dame's offensive line this year is not as great as you would think when it comes to creating line yards and preventing havoc plays, right? Like negatives, tackles for loss, and actually, how many yards they get before someone gets hands on the ball carrier, right? Notre Dame's in the 10th percentile with line yards, creating 1.4 line yards in your average play, and they give up a 12% havoc rate, which is around 50th percentile, right? So this is a team that you can get behind the sticks. And when it comes to how Pitt wants to play, that does feed into how this defense works. It's just that Notre Dame's also great at creating explosive plays both on the ground and through the air. So it's about how do we limit that with the linebacker play on the ground, and how do we limit that with how the secondary plays. Can they get a bunch of picks again? Can they break up passes? Can they not get beat? Especially, it's just how can you avoid getting beat in this game? You start with the havoc up front, you get them behind the sticks, and then third and long, you just don't let them score.
Yeah. And then, offensively, if the defense gets you the ball back, you got to be able to sustain a drive to keep them off the field and give them a breather. If the defense goes out there, gets a stop, and then we go 3 and out and give them the ball right back, that's not a recipe for success. So, Cade Bell, I'm sure, has a great game plan for this. Mason, they had the bye week. They've had a lot of time to prepare for this one. They are, I think they've been playing very well. That obviously since Mason joined, they've been averaging 40 points a game. This is a different animal, but Des Reed, I think, could get, if he gets 100 plus all-purpose yards in this game, they have a chance to pull the upset, I think.
Yeah, Notre Dame's defense similarly has like a really good like havoc rate. Like they're good at creating negative plays. The Pittsburgh offense is not great at preventing those negative plays, especially in the run game. We have a lot of runs go for -1, -2 yards. I think all-purpose yards is a good stat to hang your hat on, because if Des Reed is activated or Ja'Kirian Turner is activated in the pass game, as we've seen in these games, that's kind of where you can live with bread and butter in terms of like almost making a fake run game with these short passes to the running backs. And that's going to be super important, I would say, for keeping these drives alive. And letting your defense rest, right? They've done a very good job over these last 5 games with winning the time possession battle. The closest one was last week, kind of an anomaly game where they were about 50-50, but I believe they've won the time possession battle in each of their last 5 games. That's something to key in on, because I think that probably for the most part, this is not going to be a game where they're going to win a lot on the ground. They totally bottled up Hollywood Smothers against NC State. I think that their early season defensive glitches were kind of just early season stuff, the losses to Miami and A&M. So I'm not really taking that much from those games in weeks 1 and 2. It really is how many yards are you getting per pass, and are you staying ahead of the sticks? Mason could throw the ball 50 times this game. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a pass-heavy attack. The short passes of the running back for sure. Get them involved that way early if the run game's not there. We got to get the ball in their hands. And then the other thing that I was going to say is obviously Mason's had some red zone turnovers the last couple of weeks. Those can't happen in this game if we want to win. I did like one thing that Narduzzi said this week, where it's you don't want to, he's an 18-year-old freshman. You don't want to scare him into not playing like himself because he's scared to make a mistake or he's scared to have a turnover. So he wants him to, still sling the rock and, try and, continue to play what's made him special over the last 5 weeks, which I appreciated him saying to the media, and I'm sure he said behind closed doors too. So that was one thing that Narduzzi actually said well this week that I liked.
The last thing I want to say until we want to move to that, I think it'll be a big test. We don't have an ACC injury report this week. I haven't heard anything on Jeff Percy in that tackle spot. If he's back, it might be better for the run game. I don't have the stats in front of me from when he's in and when he's out. But I think Percy especially helps negate negative plays in the form of penalties that we also have to make sure. If Pitt gets behind the sticks due to holds and stuff, it's going to be a long day. You're going to ask Mason to have to throw down the field more. And I agree with him probably throwing the ball 50 times. The other thing I was going to say is I think Pitt's going to find a lot of success having Des Reed on a linebacker this week. If Notre Dame decides to try and stop him that way. And I don't think it's going to work very well for them. So I really hope that we can get him activated in the receiving game. So we don't want Des running between the tackles 20 times a game.
Yeah, it just vibes-wise, I did feel like Percy was really good on that left side, opening up runs. I think that Coretta's been awesome filling in at left guard. If you can get Percy back, that could really swing the game, not only in the run game, but he's a veteran left tackle, and that helps you against, every good Notre Dame front. Their lineman, Traore, has 6.5 sacks on the year. He's there, he's the guy you got to key in on. He, he wears number 5. 30 tackles, a forced fumble. God, it would be very nice to have Jeff Percy in this game. I would love it. Also, I guess a little interested to see if Kenny Johnson is. I guess he should be good to go. He played against Stanford, the injury share against NC State, but I don't know. It really is Kent, you mentioned it. I think Pitt's going to get their yards. This offense clicks. It even it gets behind the six sometimes. It still takes a lot of yards, right? Pitt's offense, in terms of available yards percentages, how many yards you get based on your field position, right? They get about 49% of available yards given to them. So they do move the ball down the field. But Kelsey's been good at field goal kicking, but it's Notre Dame. You cannot settle for field goals in this game. I would expect if they're down in the red zone early, similar to Florida State, they're going to go for it on fourth downs, because you have to set the tone early and score. You cannot be kicking field goals in Notre Dame. Like you guys said, they're going to get some explosives. It's how many do you give up? And, do you give up 1 or you give up 3 or 4? That's kind of the game. And then, Kent, like you said, red zone turnovers, man. I think we talked about it. Me and Mason did after the Stanford game. Some of it was on Mason, for sure, but some of them were kind of asinine play calls in the red zone. Like they shouldn't be running zone read in the fourth quarter. That one man pass, like making sure throwing it away, but it wasn't really a great play call. If he just got it out against Stanford, I'm fine with that. They were up 3 scores in the second half. They can get away with it. You do have to be perfect against Notre Dame. They are a top 10 team for a reason. They're very good. They have an opportunistic defense, and if you turn the ball over against them, they're probably going to score and make you pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm grateful that those happened, in that game, just so that hopefully it's a learning experience for both Cade Bell and for Mason, just going into this game, and hopefully they can, learn from those mistakes and do a little bit better come this week. Because like we've both touched on, that just is a killer when you get down there. We got to get some points on the board, be safe with the ball, but yeah.
Do you want to talk about the quote?
Well, I would like to lead this with a better quote from Pat Narduzzi from his radio show about 2 hours ago. Pat opened the show by saying, "It's a 12 o'clock kick. Get liquored up." So take that as you will. I can't let Coach down, so we'll be planning on getting a few drinks in before we have to go in the stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, you got to get that liquor blanket. It's gonna be cold.
Well, yeah. What's the weather this week? I actually don't even know.
I think it's 55. No?
Oh, really? It changed then.
Saturday is a high of 59 with a chance of rain.
Oh, that is way different than the weather report I saw a few days ago.
It looks like the rain's not going to pick up until later, which
rain would suck.
On the post game TC trip, it'll be raining.
Yeah, rain during the game, not good. That's something we don't want. It's gonna be a pass heavy day.
Yeah,
we don't want Notre Dame just be able to lean on Jeremiah Love as a bell cow back in a rain game, especially when Pitt. We'll say it, they can't really run the ball this year. But of course, Pat, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna make you proud. I'm gonna make you proud for this noon kick, and I'll probably disappoint everybody else that's at the tailgate with me. But let's talk about the other quote. I don't even have it pulled up in front of me. The gist of it was that Pitt could lose by 100 in this game, and it wouldn't matter. And we're all Pitt fans. We know this by now. Once a season, Pat Narduzzi is liable to shove his entire foot in his mouth for seemingly no reason, because he thinks it's funny. He'll put out a soundbite that just sucks. And this is this season's version of that, because he was kind of going back and forth with one of the other beat reporters about how Notre Dame put up 100 points in their previous 2 matchups. And Pat Narduzzi tried to make a joke about that and the fact that it's not an ACC game, and that is what farted out of his mouth. I've let it wash off me like water. The entire national media is picking up on it because it's, it generates clicks, whatever. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, Pat, what are you doing? Like, it's just like, bro, that you just can't say that to the media on the week of the biggest game in recent Pitt history. Like, game day is coming for the first time in 20 years. The team probably didn't read that and think, wow, you know what I mean? Like, what does the team think when they say that? Coach doesn't care about this game. Why should I care about it? I didn't like it for that reason. Obviously, I don't think he means that. I'm sure in other, in team meetings and stuff, they want to win this game. But yeah, I have the quote pulled up. It's that he was asked if Notre Dame game is a must win, and he said, "Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game." I'm glad you brought that up. It's not an ACC game. I'd gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. We could put up 100 on us as long as we win the next 2 after that.
Yeah, he's not wrong. And like you said, 110 to 10 is the quote from his Nathan Bressinger, who brought it up that's the combined score of the previous 2 Notre Dame games, which that sucks. But I don't think like the team read it and was like, oh, the coach doesn't care. But it's like, dude, you've been a head coach for how long and you just keep saying stupid shit? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. And that's going to be, they're going to be talking about that on game day for 30 minutes. So,
They've already been talking about the quote on like McAfee and other shows. I think like I'm trying to understand where Pat's coming from. And later in the interview, he talks about how he thinks winning the Coastal was a huge reason they won the ACC and having stepping stones and all this. But essentially, Pat Narduzzi knows if he wins the ACC, he gets a contract extension. So that's all he's cared about. It means a ton more money for him and a bigger buyout. So if he wins the ACC, that's all that he needs to do to get an extension. So I think it's dollar signs.
Yeah, listen, Pat, I know you're seeing green, but I'm going to tell you right now, this game means something to me. It means something to me. Because the only reason I say this is that as we kind of open the show with, the ACC tiebreakers are still kind of fucked. If there's a 3-way tie for one-loss teams, most situations Pitt kind of gets fucked, unless like one of the teams is Duke. So if you want to stay alive in that situation, you probably need to have a win over top 10 Notre Dame under your belt as a chance of making it as an at large bid, right?
yeah.
But
the same thing.
on the same hand, right? I don't think he's going around this week going like, yeah, fuck it, we're not going to win. Just focus on the ACC stuff. No, he's a college football coach. He's a literal psycho. So they're like getting ready for this game. It's just like at this point, like I said, it's our yearly stupid Pat Narduzzi quote. All right, I guess.
Yeah. I guess a reporter asked Kenny Johnson today about Pat Narduzzi's comments, and he said, I don't really know if he meant to answer the question that way, but I mean, it doesn't affect us. Coach Deuce knows what we have. He's confident we'll win, and we're confident we'll win.
I don't know if he meant to answer like that. It is so funny because like when I first saw it, I was like, "There's like," I think he might have just had a brain fart. I think he might like. Yeah. I have brain farts on this show all the time. I've said some things. I called
Oh, wasn't it like women's volleyball and basketball you like combined into one word?
I think I said women's basketball, which which was I think I actually edited that one out. So peek behind the curtain there. I said women's basketball, which I didn't catch it. No, none of us caught it. None of us noticed that I said that. But I said that. I don't know. Guys. Anything else? I mean, overall, man, I'm very excited for this game. I think that the defense has a good matchup. We're getting healthy. Getting Rasheem Boz back is huge. Play Sean Lee. If this is the game you're basically going to use all of Dez's energy in, come and bring it. Hopefully Jeff Percy's back, and this is a game about keeping serve. If you keep pace with the Notre Dame offense, if you get out ahead, if you can win the turnover battle here too, that'd be great. I would expect at least one turnover from both teams here because Mason's a freshman, and that happens with freshman quarterbacks against really good defenses. But it needs to be a game where they're looking to be opportunistic here because you steal possession with the turnover, and that might be the difference.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm fired up. I think the spread is 10.5.
It is currently.
I saw 11.5 on MGM.
I think it's moved between 12 and 10, kind of ping-ponging back and forth. But I mean, when a spread moves, it's not because like there's new information. That would only happen with injury reports, and we forgot to mention this is not an ACC game, so there's no injury reports that come out usually. So don't expect one of those. Usually that's just big players in the market moving money around. So if it jumps from 12.5 to 10.5, someone put a large amount of money on Pitt.
Yeah.
It's a 2-score spread. Obviously the focus on the Notre Dame offense and their improving defense is probably why it's a 2-score spread. I think it'll be closer than that. I think they do have a very good chance to win. It's just about how long can they stop the explosives from happening, and if they do have one, can they stop another one from coming? And we talked about it. Pause. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it. It's linebackers. It's the secondary. We do want to see a lot of Sean Lee, just speaking as fans, because he's been awesome. Awesome pick six, too. And to close us out on this game, we should have mentioned this up top, but you already probably know this at this point. It is Aaron Donald's jersey retirement game, which I mean, fuck it, there's not a more deserving player that has come through Pitt that needed his number retired. That means that punter Cade Dowd will be the last player to wear 97. The last defensive player to wear 97 was Isaiah Neal last year before he changed his number to 2. But I think they're going to put on a good ceremony. They've been posting clips all week. I just love watching Aaron Donald clips every time. Him tackling 2 guys, most overplayed clip of all time. I'll still watch it every time.
Yeah, no, I agree. But no, that dude's a tank. I'm actually fired up. Before this game was going to be the game that it has turned out to be. Like, I had this game circled on my calendar. I was fired up to just come for seeing Notre Dame and also seeing Aaron Donald's jersey retirement, because he is one of my favorite football players ever to watch. He's just an absolute beast and a good dude. So that'll be an awesome part of the day, and we'll see if he's also the guest picker, I guess.
I don't think so, because I think he'll have to be in the stadium to do like the jersey retirement stuff. I think unless they do that at like halftime or something. But I guess
they normally do it right before noon, and I guess they're going to be inside the stadium from 11.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're doing it from inside the stadium. I forgot about that. I mean, shit, it would be awesome if he was. I guess they could do it, because they did the same thing last week with Texas Tech. They did it inside the stadium with Mahomes. So,
yeah,
sure, it'd be sick.
You got to think it's either going to be him or like Larry Fitzgerald. They'll get somebody good.
I think my favorite thing is like when people are doing lists of like the Pitt athletes that are going to the game. It's like Aaron Donald, Larry Fitzgerald, Tony Dorsett, and then it's like the other guys that are coming. Like, I feel like we need like a tier list there. Like, Marquez Williams is great, but I don't know if he should be on the same list as some of these guys.
Yeah, Maurice French, tier 1.
Maurice French had that sick kick return touchdown against Notre Dame.
Yeah, dude, it's like, I think Steven brought this up, but like there's always one like random Pitt player that goes off in a Notre Dame game, like win or lose. Well, in a close game, right? Maurice French, the kickoff return touchdown. Dude, he had the other people, and they're escaping my name brain right now, but.
Oh, I mean, Palco like threw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Palco coming back is cool.
Who's the guy who had the pick in the end zone, the white safety? What's his name? Like 2011, I want to say, based on the uniforms. It's all right. That's it's not coming to me. I'm sorry. You know what? We'll end it here. Give me a random Pitt player on this year's roster, your pick for just going stupid in this game, just having an absolute lights out game.
Blue Hicks.
Okay, Blue Hicks.
I think we're gonna have a CJ Lee touchdown.
CJ Lee. Okay, I'm gonna stick with my pick. Give me Zion Fowler-El, ZFE Hive. It's time. Give me 2 scores from the kid from Union City.
The last, sellout. It's a sellout crowd officially as of today, by the way. We should mention that. I'm trying to think of historical sellouts, like the ones that I can remember in recent history. Like, Pitt has played very well. Knock on wood, but. I mean, Backyard Brawl 2022. Was the Brawl last year also a sellout officially?
I think they tried to claim it was, but there was a lot of empty seats in the upper bowl, but it was hot, so maybe they were walking around.
It was so hot that game.
It was. I don't know.
I would love to see them pass the 2 Taylor Swift shows in attendance in Acrisure Stadium, though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the crowd will be rocking. I'm very excited for the atmosphere in general. It should be sweet. So, should we make final score predictions?
I don't touch them. I don't touch them. Any score prediction I make will be wrong in the worst way. Nothing from me. I think personally that's a jinx from me. I'm gonna abstain.
Zach was with me when I correctly in the parking lot predicted the Pitt West Virginia score in 2022, and I'm gonna do it again on Saturday. So unfortunately, I did not have service. I was gonna take it on the books and try and win some money on the exact score, but I didn't have any service in the gold lot, so I could not place it. But there are witnesses that I predicted the correct score of the 2022 brawl. So
Last thing I'm gonna say, I have Pitt -9.5 in the over at 55.5. If it hits, you can see me at Rivers postgame.
all right.
Okay, so Kent knows the final score, but he's not telling anybody. And Ian has Pitt -9.5 over 55. By the way, Ray Vinipal was the white safety who had 2 picks against Notre Dame in 2013 for Pitt's 28-21 upset victory of number 23 Notre Dame that year.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I am not telling it. It just hasn't come to me yet, but it will come to me Saturday morning in the parking.
Okay, we got you. Now looking ahead to the rest of week number 12 in college football. Friday night games, we got a couple appetizers for Saturday. We have Clemson at Louisville and Minnesota at Oregon. That's ESPN and Fox. It's 2 top 25 teams going to teams that are kind of live. I don't know. I don't think Minnesota's really going to put up much of a fight against Oregon because they kind of squashed Iowa, and Iowa beat the hell out of Minnesota. Clemson, maybe. Isaac Brown, Louisville's starting running back, is still out. It's Miller Moss time, which means that things can always go poorly for Louisville. Clemson does have enough talent to make it a game, and if they do win against Louisville, that knocks them out of the ACC title race picture, I think, for good. You're not going to make it in with 3 losses. Anything else on? There's not much on the Friday night games. They're decent games. They're on. You're going to watch them. What are you going to do about it? In terms of games that are on during the Pitt slate, during that noon slate, I do think that Pitt Notre Dame is the best game here because, it's Wisconsin, Indiana, not very great. Same thing with South Carolina, Texas A&M. Those are 2 very good teams playing 2 not so good teams. Same goes for Michigan and Northwestern. South Florida at Navy. That one is probably going to be that one could be fun. Navy does not have a defense, so South Florida will score a lot of points. The question is, will Navy score a lot of points? To be determined. If they get a couple of turnovers, they're basically dead in the water. But if you're watching this from home, this is a pretty good second screen game. I would consider Arizona at Cincinnati. They're sort of a fringe top 25 team looking at back in the Big 12 title game. Because I believe Cincinnati plays BYU next week, I want to say. Yep, that's right. They do play BYU for that second spot in the title game. Other than that, it's a whole lot of slop in the noon slate. Kent, I don't know if you're looking for Christmas game of the week right now.
I'm not. I'm a little rusty. I forgot about that. Let me see if I can find one quickly.
All right, you get on that. We'll move ahead to the afternoon slate. We actually do have a pretty big one here. I do want to kind of stop on this one. Number 11 Oklahoma at number 4 Alabama. This is a top 12 matchup. And this is maybe the biggest game of the day. Oklahoma's 7-2, Alabama is 8-1. Alabama's kind of ran the gauntlet this season. Oklahoma just coming off a win against Tennessee to knock them out of the playoff picture. Man, if Bama wins this one, they might be the best team in the SEC? Question mark.
I mean,
maybe
it's hard to disagree with it at this point based on their strength of schedule. But I think the SEC is like this slop of like 7 teams that think they should get in, and Bama is probably the top of it.
Yeah, because they've played good teams and A&M hasn't. I think Bama's battle tested, so like I would favor them in this game. It's at home for them. Ty Sims has been playing very well since week 1. Either way, it should be a pretty good matchup at 3:30 once the pick game is over. NC State at Miami could be funny if Miami loses. They're always liable to do that. In the Big Ten, you have Iowa at USC. That is a playoff eliminator game, I think, for both teams. Both of them already have 2 losses. If I don't think either team can suffer another one here. Just keep an eye out on that one. And then important ACC, we talked about this at the top of the show. Virginia and Duke, both are 1-loss teams in the conference. This is going to knock out one of those teams from the title race. I guess I would probably prefer it to be Duke because again they're 5-4. They're coming off a loss to UConn, but UConn's like 7-3. They're good this year.
Yeah,
all 3 of their losses in overtime.
Their quarterback's like 25. He's like what people think Diego Pavia is.
He's Diego Pavia for Italian guys. Shout out Joey Fagnano. Or Fagnano. I don't really know how to say it. Point and Laugh Bowl, 3-6 Penn State at 3-6 Michigan State. Moving on from that one. Also do want to shout out Memphis at East Carolina. Both are towards the top of the American. I think Memphis is probably out of the playoff race, but should be a good game as like you want this one in your quad box. 2 pretty good teams here. Moving to the night slate, Florida Ole Miss. Would be very funny for Lane Kiffin to lose this one, then take the Florida job in about 3 months. Could happen. Just putting it out there. Utah at Baylor does not move me. Neither does UCLA at Ohio State. But you know what does is Texas at Georgia. Texas, beyond all odds, has wormed its way back to the top 10. They are 4-1 in the SEC, 7-2 overall. Georgia, 8-1. They keep finding ways to win. This is their final SEC game of the year, by the way. Georgia has a horseshoe shoved up their ass. They get wild referee calls and lucky plays at the end of games to keep them alive. Now they do play Texas and Georgia Tech here in the final month of the season. I'm conflicted here. I would like to see Georgia lose because I think they keep getting away with it, but I don't want to see Texas in the playoff. I think they don't deserve it, and that Arch Manning kind of stinks.
Get Texas off the bubble. Like I don't care. Like they should have lost to Kentucky in overtime. Like it's I'm sick and tired of this Texas stuff, and the more that we have 2-loss SEC teams on the bubble, they're all going to get in. So get them as far away from the bubble as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're looking at this week. We want Texas and Oklahoma to lose. That would put them at 2 and 3 losses in the conference, respectively. Give them 3 losses overall. I mean, I guess Texas does have. Yeah, you want Texas to lose here, then probably lose at A&M, get them totally off the bubble. Because if they beat Georgia and lose to A&M, there's like an argument there. They're like the 12 seed because beating Georgia might put them in the top 5, I guess. Top 5, top 6. You know, yeah, get Texas out of here. Kent, any thoughts here?
Hang on. Oh, yeah. All right. I have found the Christmas matchup of the week. Sorry. That was my focus.
Oh, shit.
Full focus
Hit
for
me.
the last 5 minutes. We're going with Colorado State at New Mexico. It is a 14.5-point spread. Colorado State is horrendous this year, but I like them to cover in this game on the road at New Mexico. I think they may let me down, but I'm really hoping for it. And, yeah, go Rams. It's a big Rams weekend, honoring Aaron Donald, honoring Colorado State in the Christmas matchup of the week.
I'm gonna zag here. Jason Eck down in New Mexico, one of my favorite coaches in college football, on the simple fact that he is a big fat guy. And in our current sports landscape, we are losing our big fat guys. They've all but gone extinct from baseball. We need to protect them. Give me big boss man Eck at home, putting the hurt on the Colorado State Rams.
That could very well happen. I was just looking at their common opponents, and it's not looking great for Colorado State to cover in this game. But I believe in them. They got trounced by UNLV, and New Mexico beat UNLV. So that's my sole recent. They both played UNLV last, and that was the results of that. So,
well, Colorado State, you've got Ken on your side. New Mexico cannot stay the same. Moving through the rest of the night slate, it is not what I would call a good night slate. This is a substance abuse slate. You've got TCU, BYU in the Big 12. Both of them are bowl teams, but I think BYU probably kills them here. A little bit of a revenge game, get right game after getting whooped by Texas Tech. Boise State, San Diego State in the Mountain West, both are 4-1 in the conference. This is for title race implications. San Diego State lost a really bad game in Hawaii. Mason called that one. They got whooped up on the island. And you also got Wyoming at Fresno State. Not as great. Watch Boise State versus San Diego State on CBS Sports Network. Anything else from you boys?
Just wish we could fast travel to Saturday.
Yeah. Oh shit! Isn't the Hoops Brawl tomorrow?
Yeah,
I guess today if you're listening to the podcast on the day of.
Yes,
I have no thoughts on that.
At West Virginia tomorrow.
I have no thoughts. It's probably gonna be the worst backyard brawl hoops ever played.
It's gonna be slop.
It's slop,
but it's our slop, and we love it.
But we hope we win the slop.
Yeah, winning the slop would be a good omen. Honestly, you put a gun to my head, I'm sacrificing the basketball team to get a win on Saturday.
Oh, easily. Yes, I would do the same.
That might be anomalous.
My only hope for the basketball program this year is that they stay good enough that all of our nasty recruits that we have coming in next year don't decommit.
They just signed their NLIs today, so they're quote unquote locked in, right?
Just get them a bag of cash.
Yeah, I have a feeling there was some money involved there, but
yeah, sources are saying that college players are being paid money. We're hearing this for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. All right. With that being said, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Simplify. Thank you to the ghost of podcast past, Kent Vanderwood, for making a surprise return appearance. Kent, you're welcome back on anytime you want. If you like the show, follow us on Twitter at SimplifyPod. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Beat the Irish.
Hail to Pitt.